All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Gina Bien, she, her pronouns. I serve as the Associate Director for Admin and Conference Services here in Housing and Resident Engagement at Cal State Fullerton. I've been with the department for about 7.5 years. Love working in housing, and I'm so excited to share all of this information with you all. I hope that you find it helpful and yes, we will be answering questions at the end. So if you have any, you can always type them up in the chat. So here are some statistics from our assessment that we've done. This is from our 2022-2023 resident survey. And our results found that 92% of our respondents, they agreed that housing and residential engagement provided a community that supported their academic success. We here in housing like to say that we want to help our students learn, connect, and grow. So to see that over 90% of our students, we've helped them uh, put their academics first. We help them graduate, and we know that it's important to be successful inside and outside of the classroom. So in housing, we provide the resources, connection points, and our staff to help our residents to be successful. 94% agreed that living on campus aided in their success. 92% stated that we provided a community that is safe and inclusive of their identities. And 97% agreed that we have staff that provided excellent customer service. So safety is paramount for our students. Our students should feel safe when they're learning and growing at Cal State Fullerton, and we want to make sure we are providing that top-notch, best customer service. So there are three styles of housing in housing and residential engagement. The first one is our residence halls. So they're traditional residence halls. Sometimes you'll hear them called dorms. And these are for our first year students. So they can either be double or triple occupancy bedrooms. So in each hallway, they'll have either 8 or 9 students. So that comes out to about 54 students on a floor, and they will have three restrooms on the floor, which are community restrooms that each have two private showers, two sinks, and two toilets. Each of our residence halls also have a larger active room as well as two smaller passive rooms. And the best part is if you're able to join us on a campus tour in housing, or if you're able to look at our virtual tours online, you will be able to see a wing of our residence halls, and they are all identical. So we have 5 buildings for our residence halls, and they're exactly the same. So the best part is no matter where you're placed, you'll all have a similar experience. Then we have our suites, which were built in fall 2022. So they are our newest build, and these are designed for our sophomores, juniors, and transfer students. So in our suites, there are 8 people per suite. So it means there are 4 bedrooms and 2 restrooms. So there are 2 residents in each bedroom, and there's also a small kitchenette. So, as I mentioned, our suites are designed for sophomores, juniors, and transfer students. There are 4 bedrooms, a shared kitchenette, and there are about 5 suites on each floor. Um, in our suites, it also comes with a lounge and a study room on each floor as well. Then, lastly, we have our apartments, which are designed for our seniors and our graduate students. So, this community has 4 rooms, each a private bedroom. So there are 2 restrooms. So even though the bedrooms are private, you do share that kitchen, the living room, the dining room in each of the apartments. And then 2 people would also be sharing one restroom in the apartments. And then our apartments have central heat and air conditioning, and they also have a balcony or a patio. So as you can see, our community is designed so our students have a multi-year experience during their journey here at Cal State Fullerton. So you start in the residence halls as your first year, then you'll be in the suites for a couple of years, and then you will be in our apartments. One thing to note that all of our residents are required to have a meal plan no matter where they live. So for our residence halls and our suite students, you have two meal plan options, which are here listed in the middle. There will be our 7-day continuous dining or our 5-day continuous dining. So the 5-day meal plan means that you will have continuous dining options 5 days a week, which are our weekdays. So it is Monday through Friday. If you do plan on being here on the weekends and needing meals on the weekends, we do recommend the 7-day, which means as long as the gastronome is open, you can go in there and swipe as many times as you want. So these continuous dining meal plans, students will go in, grab a banana, maybe a couple hours later, they'll go back in and they can grab more food. They also have options. So our dining hall is called the gastronome. The gastronome also has options where you can have a to-go box. So maybe you're running late to class and you don't have time to eat inside. You can definitely grab your food, put it in your to-go box, and then take that with you. For our apartments, they're the only ones who have the full service kitchen. So they have access to what we call the 100 block meal plan. That one means that you have 100 swipes per semester. These swipes do not roll over. So if you only used 50 swipes, then the next semester you're going to get a fresh 100, and that you'll start with. For all three meal plans, the 7-day, the 5-day, and our 100 block, each of these come with 200 residential dining dollars per semester. These dining dollars can be used, if you look on the left, at the community market and the Tuffy's late night dining cafe. And if you have a 5-day meal plan and you run out, or let's say you have the 5-day meal plan and you need to eat on the weekend, you can even use your guest meals, which you have 8 guest meals per semester, or you could use your 200 dining dollars to pay and then eat at our dining hall as well during the weekend. So that's also an option. Um, and then for those students who choose not to live on campus, maybe don't get accepted to live on campus, not accepted, I would say those students who don't get selected because maybe they didn't apply early enough, fret not, you can still purchase a commuter meal plan, which are smaller meal plans that you can purchase, and then you can also purchase dining dollars as well. So if you want more information about our commuter or what we call our voluntary meal plans, you can go to dineoncampus.com slash CSUF for more information. And there you can also find the hours of the gastronome, the menu for the day, and then connect with Titan Eats, who oversees our dining halls. So those are our dining services. So just to reiterate, every student is required to have a meal plan. So here are our current rates. We are finalizing our 2024-2025 rates for next year. We are looking at a 3 to 6% increase. So once we have those numbers finalized sometime this week, we should be posting them on our website. But I did want to share with you our current rates so that you can get an estimate on how much it costs to live on campus. So as I mentioned, if you are a first-year student, you will be living in our residence halls. And in our residence halls, which you can see at the top, you have two options. You can either have the 5-day meal plan or the 7-day meal plan. So depending on which meal plan you have, you can see the total here. So for residence halls, 5-day, it's $17,826. And then you can see the breakup for room and board. So board is what we call just meal plan. So you can see that 13,710 is for the resident hall room. And then $4,116 is what it costs for a 5-day meal plan. So if you add that both up, then you are going to get the $17,826. That is for the academic year. Academic year starts end of August and it goes through around the third week of May. So you can see it's not for the entire 12 months. It is about a 10-month period. And you can see that on average, it costs around $19,000 to live on campus. As I did mention for next year, we are looking to increase as minimally as possible, but we are looking at about a 3 to 6% increase. And all of those rates will be posted on our application and on our website as soon as it is finalized. Our rates, they are divided into 6 different installment payments, which also match our tuition installment payment plan. So we want to make it as easy as possible for our students. So what you would do is you would take let's take the residence halls 5 day, for example. So you would take that $17,826, divide that by 6, and then that amount is going to be due August, September, October for the fall semester, and then January, February, March for the spring semester. So they're not monthly rental amounts. They're what we call installments. Most important information, if you take away anything today, is that most of our students who live on campus, their financial aid package is not sufficient to cover all of tuition and fees as well as housing together. So when you have your financial aid package, we really highly recommend that you look at what your subsidized and unsubsidized loan, if you're getting any, what your grants are, any scholarships that you get, and you're going to take that semester amount and you're going to subtract your tuition and fees first, because your financial aid package will also always cover your institutional charges first. And so afterwards, anything that's left over will cover housing charges. I would say that most of our students have an out-of-pocket expense. I've never really seen much of a financial aid refund unless our students are getting a Parent Plus loan to cover all of housing, or if they're getting a private loan. And so this is really important because a lot of our students will not calculate their out-of-pocket expenses correctly. We do have Elaine Para. She is our business services coordinator, and she can hold consultations with you if needed. I'm also available if you need to look at your financial aid package and then determine how much you're going to be paying out of pocket. Again, each semester, I would say on average, the out of pocket expense for our students might be around four to $5,000 each semester. So for the year, that comes out to about $10,000 for the year that you're looking at. So we do work very closely with the Office of Financial Aid. But if you take anything away from this, I hope that you take away that um, the financial aid package that you get will pay tuition and fees first, and then anything left over, if there's anything, will cover some of the housing charges. So another big perk about living on campus are the resources and the staff that are available for you at all times. So um, what makes living on campus so different? It's not just the convenience, but it's really the people. And we want you to be successful as students. We want you to graduate in 4 years. And we will do our best to be available to you and to provide all the resources that you need. So we do have 3 teams. I oversee the administration and conference services staff team. So I'm the associate director. I have an assistant director, and then I have specialist coordinators, and then I have lovely student office assistants who are crucial to helping us with lockouts. They help us with logging packages, issuing mail. They help us during the conference season, during the summer. They help us with all of our meeting room events and our housing application. And then we also oversee the housing assignments process, as well as any of the financial and business operations. The second team that we have are our residential facilities operations staff. So we have an in-house residential facilities operations staff. They don't clean individual bedrooms, but they clean all of the common areas every business day. They are very passionate about keeping our community clean and safe, because that's why you all are here, and those are the things that support your student success. We have a maintenance team who responds very quickly to any requests that you might have to ensure your safety and your comfort. So in the housing portal, there is a maintenance request button that our residents can go in and put in anything in terms of my sink won't stop dripping, or my toilet is making weird noises. Whatever it might be, you go in and we have our maintenance staff to come and help you. As I mentioned, we have our custodial team to keep common restrooms clean if you're in the residence halls. They do service all of the restrooms. And then we have our groundskeeping who include our landscaper. And we have all of these lovely folks pictured here to make sure that you are comfortable and safe in our community. Last, we have our residential engagement staff. So this is made up of our director, associate director, assistant directors, community coordinators, and resident advisors. So these are the staff that live on campus. Our community coordinators, we have 5 community coordinators. They live on campus and they are all master's graduate professionals. And we also have resident advisors. There's a resident advisor on every single floor of our residence halls and our suites. For the apartments, the resident advisors are on every other floor. And these folks are the ones who respond to any crisis at nighttime, on the weekends. They're available 24/7. Our residential engagement, this is a team that helps our students engage in our community and in our campus by providing fun programs and events that our residents can attend. And if you want to get involved, we have 2 organizations. They meet weekly and they host events to give back to the campus community. We call them RSA and NRHH for short. It stands for Resident Student Association and National Residence Hall Honorary. So if you're already part of your high school or community college, being involved in some way, this is a great way for you to also be involved on campus. And these groups serve as a liaison between our residents and our housing staff. They do advocacy nights and they plan really great community-wide events. One of my favorites is the Tiny Tots trick-or-treating event that they hold for our entire Fullerton community when a lot of local elementary school children will come together and we have a fun trick-or-treating event. And this is hosted by RSA and NRHH. We also have Dr. Latasha Trailer, who is our faculty in residence. She is an assistant professor for the Department of Sociology, and she lives in our community. She helps our students get connected with faculty, answer questions about office hours, and she is a great resource for our students. She also helps with our diversity, equity, and inclusion work, and she serves as a mentor for many of our students and residents here as well. In housing and residential engagement, we also offer theme communities. Some of the theme communities are Athena House for our women empowered students. We have Rainbow House for our LGBTQ plus students, Ujima community for our Black students, Latinx community for our Latinx students, and then we have the Apiza community for our Asian Pacific Islander South Asian American students. To learn more about our theme communities, you can find a lot more information on our website as well as our housing application about more about what these theme communities entail, what their goals are, who they partner with. So all of these theme communities do partner with a resource center on campus. And also, they hold very specific programs and events related to these theme communities. If you are interested in signing up for a theme community in our housing application, you will see them listed out with all the details, and you will have to rank which ones you're interested in. And you also have to describe why you're interested in these theme communities. And we admit students into these theme communities on a selected basis. So we'll review all of the responses and then we'll notify students if they have been accepted to live on these theme floors. So we are very intentional about who lives in these theme communities as well. I do want to highlight some of our student housing policies because we do, unlike other off-campus spaces, we have a lot more, I would say, just policies that we adhere to, and these are important because it creates that safe space for our residents to make sure that academics come first, right? So I just want to highlight some of these. So we do have free laundry for all of our residents, so it is just for our residents, not for your friends. So this is great for parents because they have less laundry to do. So you can always do your laundry on campus. It is free for our residents. And for resident parking, we do allow students to bring a car, but we do want to mention that space is limited. And then also our first year students, they are designated to specific lots on campus. So we do have two lots that are behind closer to our housing community, but those are for non-first time students. And you can always find more information on the parking website in terms of cost and then where exactly students can park. For our residence halls, which are, traditionally called our dorms, they are dry. So that means there's no alcohol. But for our suites and apartments, if you are of age, then you will be allowed to have alcohol on campus. However, we are a smoke and drug-free campus altogether. So if we do see or smell any of that, we will be, addressing that with our residents. We do have a guest policy, and we do allow guests to stay overnight, but the roommate must approve this, and they're limited to a maximum number of consecutive days. Um, and then emotional support animals, we do allow emotional support animals. These must be verified and approved through disability support services. One thing I want to note is that having an emotional support animal doesn't give you any preferential treatment or priority in the housing application process. But if you are admitted into housing and you have an emotional support animal, you have to make sure that you get this approved by disability support services. Otherwise, you would have to go through that conduct process. So there is a separate verification when it comes to ESAs. And then I've been mentioning this a few times, but our student contact process. So if you do violate a policy, our residential engagement team, which you saw earlier, they will speak with you and we'll have conversations if there are multiple violations, whether our community might be the right fit for you or your ability to continue. And we also have equity inclusion policies that we ask you to adhere to so that we make this a very safe space for our residents. All right, next I want to go over the housing application timeline. So a week, almost a week, next Monday, April 9th, our pre-application opens. So this is new. Our housing application is lengthy. There are a lot of things to read. One of the things in there requires you to understand your financial literacy. We do have a lot of students who want to live on campus and they are dying to live on campus only to find out that they can't afford living on campus because of the rates you saw earlier. Um, it is a little bit more expensive than living off campus. So we do ask that, again, you understand what you're signing up for before you sign up. So we are giving a period of time where the application opens for you to go through it very slowly. You can answer questions about what time you like to go to sleep. You can answer questions about who your emergency contact is. Um, Earlier, I mentioned the theme communities. You can also talk about more in depth of why you want Athena House or why you want Ujima House. You can talk about those questions a little bit more in detail. So April 9th is when the application opens for you to go in at any time. So it's no rush. You don't need to go in at 9 a.m. on April 9th. There is no need. You can go in any time from April 9th until May, or really throughout the rest of April, to take your time and fill out all the parts of the application. So you can complete all of it except for paying a $50 application fee. So no one is exempt from this $50 application fee, and it is required. And we, at this time, only accept credit cards when it comes to paying this um, fee, the $50 fee. And so, other than paying the $50 and pressing submit, you can do everything else. And I'm just going to skip to the next page really quick and then I'll come back. But if you look here, May 6th is when non-first year students can actually submit the application. And then May 8th at 9 a.m. is when first year students can submit the application. So as I said, April 9th is when it opens, but you really can't submit it until whichever date applies to you. So it's either going to be that May 6th or that May 8th date. But it's just time because in the past, when we open the application, students are in there for so long trying to complete these applications that it kind of clogs up our portal a little bit. So we are doing a pre-application, but we do want to note that completing this phase doesn't guarantee you a spot in housing, and it does not mean your application has been submitted. So if you've completed a lot of this pre-application, but you didn't pay that $50 and submit, then your application does not count. So I want to highlight that. The next thing is next Saturday, April 13th, we have Experience CSUF. So any students who are considering Cal State Fullerton for the next steps can come and look at the resources and the services offered. We will have housing walkthrough tours where you could see what a residence hall or a suite look like. And it'll be held, that time is not correct, but it should be 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. So it's not 7 to 3, but it's 10 to 2, and that's next Saturday. As I mentioned, Monday, May 6th at 9 a.m. is when the application can be submitted for non-first year students. Who are non-first year students? That includes our transfers, our sophomores, our juniors, seniors, and our graduate students. And then on May 8th, Wednesday, 9 a.m. This is when first year students can submit the application. First year students, it does not mean you're transfer students. This only purely includes what we like to say like first time freshmen, but just students who are going to college for the first time. Then in early June, we will update students if you're notified to live on campus. If you get selected to live on campus, then you will get an email talking about all the instructions on how you can request a roommate and how you can select a room. Then mid-June, those students will be able to go in and then select a space for the next academic year. So just to go over some important dates, in early July, we will post our housing charges. So you will see, like I mentioned, you take the housing charges that you see divided by 6, and all these installments will be due. You do have to pay your first August installment before you can move in. So they will be posted early July, and you have until early August to pay that first housing installment. If you are selected to live on campus, or even if you're on the wait list, the last day to cancel is Monday, July 15th, at midnight. So if you have a confirmed room reservation, we do ask that you cancel by this date. After this date, you will have to submit a cancellation request form, and that will only be approved if we are able to replace your space. Likely sometime in July or August, we do have a wait list, and so we will be able to replace those spaces quickly, but we do ask, to be polite for others on the wait list that you cancel early if you're already thinking about it. And then the first installment is due August 16th. And then our move-in days will be August 22nd or August 23rd. It depends on where you're located and where your room placement is, but students who are going to live on campus will get all of the instructions on which day they arrive. And then the first day of classes, the semester begins Saturday, August 24th, 2024. But really, the first day of classes is that following Monday. So again, my name is Gina. And if you have any questions, you can always email housing@fullerton.edu. You saw my wonderful office assistant staff. You can always call the front desk, 657-278-2168, if you have any questions during business hours, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And they can answer any questions that you have regarding the application or the process. Throughout the process, if you have any questions, they can also answer that for you as